My journey is quite different and interesting. Actually, I never really thought I will get into a professional job. In the sense that I do come from a business family, and the expectation of most, I think I was among the first to get out and start working and doing something as different as public relations, which many people in the family had not even heard about. So after finishing my course, I landed a job with Clear PR in the year 2000. So those were very early days of public relations. I mean, the number of PR agencies you can count on your fingertips. From Clear, I moved on to Text 100. So after spending some 4 years at PR agencies, I got a break with Coca-Cola, and that was probably the highlight of a professional career. And the best part about Coke was that, best and the worst part was I joined bang in the middle of the pesticide controversy. They needed more hands on the deck. But it was a great learning experience because I don't think any other job would have given me the kind of experience I got handling the whole pesticide controversy with some really great comms people who I shadowed, and I think I learned a lot about crisis management. After that, I was not looking, but I got an opportunity with the Sunrise Sector Insurance. I joined Aviva Life Insurance there. So I actually stayed in Aviva for 8 years, and I grew from assistant manager to heading the department within a year and a half. So after Aviva, I moved on to PNB MetLife. Again, like in Aviva, I set up the entire communications team from scratch. At PNB MetLife also, I built the whole communications function. I got an opportunity to work in Hong Kong, working across 10 markets in a regional role in Asia. I chose to come back to India late 2018. Then I actually took a little bit of a break, I think for a couple of months only, because in the break that I was taking would not end up being a break, because some of my ex-bosses did get in touch with me and they offered me projects to work with them. So from one project led to another project. So I had 3 projects at a given time, and I was really enjoying my whole independent style of working. I did that for a couple of months, and then I got this call from Panasonic. After I met the management here, I was pretty convinced about what they were trying to build here and their strategy and their success story, and I wanted to be a part of it, and that's how the Panasonic journey started. That a Copcom person needs to be a jack of all trades, and PR and Copcom is a industry agnostic function. So it doesn't matter if whether you were in financial services or you were in FMCG or you were in tech. I could easily switch to electronics, and I did not take too long to settle down because the basic principles are the same. As long as your base is sound and you understand what Copcom needs to do and deliver and what is this function all about, you can work in any industry irrespective. Media has really evolved over the years, and there's no mystery or there's no news actually for anyone. So I remember when we started our career, print used to be the key. Television was becoming important, but clients still wanted their print media coverage. That was the key. Online was just about starting. I think it was just about starting. Now, over the years, how it's grown is that online has taken over print and TV both to a large extent. And you have now new age media like Ken, Drum, Print, Morning Context. So these platforms, which are supposedly independent of any influence, are actually taking up a lot of space in today's viewership and readership. And then with the advent of social media, online coverage and online stories are also increasingly becoming important, because you can amplify all the communication further through your own handles. like social media handles and things like that. I see this trend here to stay. While I don't see print really disappearing, because print has its own niche and its own audience, but digital is the future and the present and the future actually. So I think you will see a lot of lines blurring between marketing and PR when it comes to digital PR. And I think we will have to work collaboratively to find our own niche here. And influencer communication, blogger communication, stuff like this traditionally falls into the PR bucket. Marketing has started to make inroads here. Influencers are your new age journalists in a way. So I think the PR also needs to figure out how to engage them and work with them rather than it becoming only pay for review model. This pay for review model is a bit of a bubble right now. You have so many people with followers who are monetizing their platforms today, and it's becoming equally tough for PR people and marketers to figure out as to who is going to genuinely get you that traction or that eyeball or that credibility for the brand. So I think a lot more conversations have started to happen around it. As far as influencers and blogger community goes, I think we as PR people and marketers have become far more stringent about how we engage, how we profile them, how we look at them, and that will become even stricter going forward. A lot of celebrities today are pretty conscious. They work organically also, and people who charge money for endorsements are also very conscious about the kind of brand they endorsed. I know about Amitabh Bachchan actually backing off from endorsement 2 years ago from a certain very well-known child nutrition brand because of certain negative issues attached to that brand. So you will see people who are credible and who are will do that. And coming to another point, I think what employers need to start engaging a bit more on and cashing on are their own people. Employees are your best brand ambassadors. If your employees believe in you, they use your products, they buy your products, and they are not afraid to go out on their social media handles and talk about how they're engaging with your brands, that can be the best endorsement any brand can get. It's not about you selling something, but your people believing in it and buying it. So recently we did a campaign at Panasonic called Life at Panasonic Homes, where we actually kind of encourage our employees that if they felt strongly about it, they should showcase how Panasonic is making their home life also easy, whether lockdown, without domestic help, what was going on with them, how was Panasonic helping them live their lives more efficiently. We got an overwhelming response from people, and that really touched me. So what are the insights from PR? What are the trends for PR that are here to stay? With COVID, post-COVID, now we are post-lockdown, we are in unlock phase, but COVID is still here. It's not going anywhere till the vaccination comes. Culture at the epicenter of any communication. Your organization culture, this is a testing time for any organization's culture. Your culture has to be at the centerpiece and at the center of any communication that you do to engage your customers, your stakeholders, and your employees, your workforce. The whole factor of enabling and empowering leaders to communicate with their own teams. Instead of just HR or the communications team taking on the mantle of internal communications, I believe that this is the time to create scripts, to create guidelines, and give it to all the leaders in an organization and get them to deliver the organizational message. Another thing that I believe is really important at this time is the regular business communication needs to continue to happen. It's not that because COVID has happened and we faced losses as an organization, we stopped engaging with media or stakeholders. No. In fact, it's even more important to engage now. It's more important to give them the confidence and be honest about what you are doing. Yes, there have been losses. Let's not try and shy away from it. Economy is down. So there's no point saying we are making profits when you're not. And but there's a strategy, but there is a way to move forward for a brand, and that communication needs to be out there. It helps your stakeholders, it helps your shareholders, it helps your people and it actually regains confidence in the business. Another thing that we should use a lot of right now is analytics. Very important to listen right now. Get onto your social media listening tools, do your surveys, use this time to listen and strategize as to what should be your next steps. Another thing that I would leave the group with is corporate social responsibility has suddenly become very, very important. People are talking about CSR in a very big way. CSR begins at home, right? Fix your own house first before you go out and fix the community, A. B, even if you are doing something good for the community, and you should be doing as a responsible corporate, instead of tom-tomming about it, do it a little more tastefully. This is not the time for you to tell people that I donated 300 crores. It's a time for you to let the community talk for you. Your communication should focus more on heart versus mind. So it should be very emotional, feelings-led communication. It should actually, your tone of voice needs to be far more empathy-based than it ever was before. If it was earlier also, great, continue with it. But instead of just talking numbers and shop, you need to lace those numbers with a lot of empathy and help people understand what they really mean. And one thing is very, very important right now, that be absolutely real, be raw in your communication. I mean, it's okay if you don't have that really nicely done video to share with your community. As long as your message is getting across, make sure you're out there and don't wait for 1 month to get that absolutely decent video get even better. And as you're asking me for what I would like to pass on as a message to leaders of tomorrow, broadly, if you have to say that, honesty and sincerity in anything that you do, and that's the only thing. Be honest with your work. Be sincere about your deliveries. If I have to come specific to the COPCOM people and PR people out there, my only advice to you is that, one of the most important things that we as PR people have to deal with is stakeholder management. Please invest in it. Understand your stakeholders. It's not about you. It's about the organization and the vision. So please put that before you. And simplicity in communication is what's going to see you through. If you're operating in a market like India, you need to look at jargon-free, simple communication. And please do invest a lot in your learning, understanding the industry that you operate in, before you think that you are a master of anything. And to end the whole conversation, I think I'll share one of the quotes that I read recently and that has stayed with me. I don't know who wrote it, but this, I really believe in it, that 2 monologues do not make a dialogue. And PR bridges the gap between monologues and dialogues. So please have more conversations, talk to people. Half the problems and crises are solved just by conversations.